everyone, my name is Cindy, and today I am going to show you how to make these super cute little envelope scrapbooks. They're really fun and easy to personalize and are just kind of cute. So let's get started. Okay, so this is what our end product is going to look like. You know, it has a front, it has a back, and then it has several envelopes in it. Now, if you were able to sign up for this craft ahead of time, you would have gotten several items in your craft kit. So first off, you will have 6 pieces of paper. 2 of them should be plain textured cardstock, and then 4 of them should be patterned. If you're doing this at home, you can choose any colors or patterns or textures, and you can even do more than 6 pieces of paper if that's what you want to do. You do need to make sure that the pieces of paper are square. For us, I made sure all of ours are 8 inch by 8 inch. You will also have received these little metal book plates, a couple of stars, and a little bit of ribbon. If you're doing this at home, you can grab all of these or none of these. You can take craft supplies that you already have, just kind of whatever works best for you. So what I did for anyone with a craft kit is I prepared the paper. If you need to do this at home, you will have to prepare the paper by yourself. What I did is I measured 3 inches down on either side of my left and right diagonals, and then I took this little, I think it's called a notch and corner punch. We got it off of Amazon, but I think it's available at any craft store. And I took these and I punched out a little wedge on the 3 inch mark, and then on the long flap I took the corner punch and I punched that out. You don't have to necessarily buy this punch. If you don't want to, you can just use a pair of scissors and you can trim a wedge 3 inches in on either diagonal and then curve the top. And that's all you have to do to prepare the paper. So the bulk of this craft is actually folding and assembling. To fold and assemble, you will need some glue or some double-sided tape. And I also recommend you have a ruler to make it just a little bit easier. What you're going to do is you're going to turn each of these square pieces of paper into an envelope. And the way you do that is you turn it so that the inside is facing out. It's harder to tell on this cardboard, but if you're using a one-sided pattern paper, you know, the unpatterned side faces up, and then you align your ruler with an edge and just fold the short edges over, make it crisp like that, and then you turn it to the other short edge and you repeat the process. So now you have 2 sides folded in, and these are going to be our short sides. Then you try to decide which side's going to be your bottom and which side's going to be your top. A lot of pattern paper doesn't matter, but some of them it might. I'm just going to decide that it's this bottom side. Take your ruler, place it down so that you have a relatively level edge, and fold the long flap up. Let's make this all nice and crisp now. And so you see, this looks like an envelope now. You don't have to fold this top flap. You eventually will when you assemble it, but for right now, just 3 sides is fine. And once you have those 3 sides folded in, you're going to glue or tape it shut. So you don't want to put any glue inside of the envelope, like the pouch, because then it's going to be glued shut and you can't put things in the envelope. Instead, you're just going to put some on one side of each of the short flaps and then push the long flap over and hold it in place so that you see we have now created a little pouch. If you can, I do recommend placing this underneath some heavy books or, piece of wood or something like that, just to help it lay flat and stick closed. But that's all you have to do with all the papers. So now I am going to take each one of my other 5 pieces of paper and I am going to fold them into envelopes. So feel free to do that yourself. Okay, so we've got all 6 of our envelopes made. I would actually recommend you give these a little bit more time to dry, just to make sure that they all stay stuck and don't accidentally come undone during the assembly process. You can also, if you have some really nice tape like washi tape or something, you can always put them on the seams to give them a little bit more sticking power, but we're just going to kind of power ahead. So the next part is going to be our assembly. It sounds a little bit complicated at first, but once you get the hang of it, it really isn't too bad. So what you want to do is you're going to start with the envelope that is going to be your front cover. So this is going to end up being our front cover. And what you're going to do is you're going to take the next page and you're going to flip it upside down so that the extended flap is going into the pouch of the previous envelope, and you're just going to slide it in there. If you want, you don't have to add glue at this point, but if you do want to make sure that it is a little bit more secure, you can put glue or double-sided tape on the interior flap of the second envelope, so the envelope that you are inserting into the first. And so we've got that all inserted, and it's going to look like this, just kind of like a square right now. And what you're going to do is you're going to take this second envelope that I just put into the first, and you're going to fold it over. I actually think I put it a little bit too far into the first envelope, so I'm going to pull it out just a little bit. Pull it out a little bit more. And yes, just a little bit more. Come on. Okay. And then you fold it over, get that nice crease. And so now you see, I was trying to align it with the edge of the first one, but well, it'll still work out just fine if it's not perfectly aligned. And so now I have a page. Then we're going to take our third envelope and we're going to repeat the process and insert it into the second envelope. So remember to turn it so it's facing down. If you want a little bit extra security, put a little bit of glue on the interior flaps of the third envelope. And then slide it on in. So we got that square, and then we're going to fold over and crease. As you may have noticed, this did not go in as smoothly as I would have liked. We're trying to make each of these envelopes the exact same size, but variations will occur because you're hand making this. And that's okay, so you just have to kind of, finesse it, make it work. You can also trim the edges with the scissors, but I'm not gonna do that. Now we're gonna insert the fourth envelope, putting a little bit of glue on the inside flap, turning it face down, and then inserting it into the flap. That one went in very easily. Fold over and crease. So you can really tell that it's starting to come together as a book now. Our fifth envelope, little bit of glue, slide into the fourth envelope, fold over, crease in place. And then, actually I had intended on ordering that a little bit different. So before it dries, I'm going to undo it. Come on. Okay. So if you had intended, like I had, to put in the envelopes in a different order, if you catch your mistake early enough, you can fix it, like I just did. So I wanted to put this green one into this blue one. I just got into a zone. And we're going to change that, stick it down, fold it over. Our textured cardstock is a little bit bulkier than our pattern cardstock, so you just have to be a little bit careful with it. And now I will insert this black polka dot one in the order I had intended. It's gonna pop out. That's probably fine. I don't want to bend it too terribly much. And then put it over. Alright, so now we've got all 6 envelopes placed inside of each other. Our first one, our second one, third, so on and so forth. And so now we have to just finish up the process. And we're going to do that by essentially making like a little spine. Taking my ruler, I'm putting it out like 1/4 of an inch, and then I'm folding over so I can get a relatively straight edge. I will then put a little bit of glue inside that, followed by a little bit of glue inside this flap. And then we fold over and into our 6th envelope. So envelope number 1 now goes into envelope number 6. Try to hold that down. If you don't want an exterior pouch, you can also glue here, but I like having that exterior pouch. All right, so we started with a spine, but let's make a true spine by just folding into this. Fold, fold, fold. You can see how that's starting to take shape. All right. And that is our super cute envelope scrapbook. So you see we have the first page, next one, next one, next one, next one, and then there is our last one. If like this you feel like it is, you see how it kind of popped open, that's because it's not fully glued in, it's not dry yet. So I do recommend that before you really start using it, you do give it adequate time to dry, putting it underneath something heavy like some books or a piece of wood or a flower press or something. And just give it that time to dry so that you can really use it. Because once it dries, it does end up being, a fairly sturdy little piece of organization. So at this point, you can, take a marker, label it, recipes, summer of 2021. You can take some of your own decorations or the decorations we provided you, and you can, place them on there and really just personalize it and make it your own. But, I figure you can do that on your own. So that is the end of the demonstration. Okay, so if you followed through the instructional part of this video, you should have something like this. And if you've taken the time to decorate it, you should have something like this. And it will be all ready for you to use to store whatever trinkets, mementos that you want to keep. I personally am going to be using mine for recipes because I have a tendency to print out or write down recipes and immediately lose them. So I'm really excited to have this. And I hope that in the comment section of our video, you'll share pictures of your own scrapbook, envelope scrapbook, and let us know what you're using it for. We'd love to hear it. And if you have any questions, of course, let us know. But otherwise, have a great day. Bye.